This is Jermaine Bryan reporting for the Pound for Pound Boxing Show at Wembley Arena. I'm joined by Dan Savage. Dan, how you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. All the better for the night. It was honestly, one of the most enjoyable nights of boxing. I know we've had a lot of cards, but that's one of the ones I've enjoyed the most by far.
Let's not even get to the main event. We'll leave that to last, man. I want to talk a bit about the performances tonight of Ben Whittaker and Adam Azim. Firstly, let's talk about Adam Azim defending his EBU title tonight. How do you rate his performance in the win tonight?
I thought he had to be patient. Enoch is better than I thought he was, quicker than I thought he was, and he knows his way around the ring, so he wasn't falling for certain things, and by the time Adam's landing the shots, he's already seen it, so maybe he's taking a little bit of the sting out of him. I thought it was good. Adam had to be patient, dominated. He didn't look like he lost a minute of any round, but he had to be a little bit patient, obviously, because of dislocated shoulder. Not the way he would have wanted to get the win, but the win was the most important thing, and the win was never really in doubt for Adam, man. It's just another step up, you know. That is a very credible opponent he's dispatched of him.
Yeah, like I said, credible opponent. I think you could see as the fight was getting on and on, Adam was getting stronger and stronger. Could you see a early amount of time before he got him out there himself anyway?
Do you know what? Every time I thought, okay, here we go, here's the second phase, we're going to step on the gas here, Enoch would do something that kind of like offset him just slightly in terms of he's not ready to go just yet. Might have needed a couple of more rounds of softening up in order to get him there. Probably would have got him by the time the 12th round had gone. But I don't think he was ready to go just then.
Yeah, another fantastic performance. So we're moving on. What's next for Adam this year? It's a big year for him, man, surely.
I don't know. I think it's up to him. He'll decide whether he vacates this European title, whether he keeps it and defends it one more time. At 140, there's so many options. He's just got to pick the right ones for his development, and we know who's all across the other side of the pond. Plus the other ones that are here, you know, we've got Jack Catterall, we've got Josh Taylor. There are fights here for him as well, big ones. But there's also some big ones abroad. And I reckon 2025, we start to see him kick into gear, maybe go stateside and have some big fights over there. But for now, I think it's just about defending it or staying at this level, just getting around and just learning on the job.
So you don't think he could go on and fight for a world title later this year, even overseas, over the pond? Yeah,
I think if the opportunity presents itself and they feel like it's time, the McGuigan team know best. They will assess what they saw today and decide whether a world title is best next, or does he need one more in between, and what does he need to learn. They're far better at that than I am, that's what I'm saying. So I always, in my mind, had it either late this year or the beginning of 2025 was when he would start his proper world title hunt.
Brilliant. And Ben Whittaker, the surgeon, put on a fantastic performance again. It just looked like he's enjoying himself as every fight goes on. He's getting better and better, just showing his real class today. How do you rate his performance and win tonight?
He's mocking it. Honestly, he's beating people up and he's making it look sexy. You know, like he barely put a foot wrong. Oh yeah, he got clipped a couple of times. Problem is, he's got a good chin. And the problem is, if he wants to throw all of the flashy stuff in a bin, he can do that and just fight you. He's better than you at that as well. He's just a born entertainer, man. You could hear the crowd every time he did something. It's either funny, it's comical. He's a pantomime villain, but he's what everyone needs. So, yeah, look, he's an Olympian. He's got ridiculously good schooling. He'll go to the very, very top. It's just about the timing with him.
And next for him, what's the plans for? I don't know, you've got Ben obviously to the left of you, but what's the next plans for him, obviously, going forward? Is he going for title surely this year?
Yeah, it's strap season now. I think he'll want to go after the English. The British and Commonwealth just got fought for. He said in the weigh-in he believes he could beat them both. He might get his opportunity to test himself against one of them by the time the year's out. Who knows? We'll have to see the development and see how fast he wants to go. You know, someone like Ben, he's so talented. You can't keep the training wheels on him for too long. That was meant to be a step up tonight. It didn't look like one, but on paper it was.
Obviously, I heard that a certain Shakan Peters is going to be fighting for the Commonwealth title. I heard after maybe Buatsi is going to vacate it. Could you see Ben maybe going for the British Commonwealth later this year?
It's a good fight. I think that's a very good fight. I actually don't want to give anything away. I was going to say I hadn't heard anything about that. But, yeah, Shakan was here. I didn't speak to him, but I know he's here. I don't think there's anyone Ben fights that he's not as good as, it's just about the timing on it. You know, like, you've got to steer these careers at the right times. But he'll be walking back to his hotel room or his dressing room, whatever it is, knowing that he's as good as anyone on the planet. He really is, like, super talented. Generational, probably. You don't really get those kind of fighters. He's like the Hazard of boxing. Just creates his own opportunities. He just takes the mick, and he just looks very smooth doing it.
It kind of reminds me of like a Ronaldinho kind of thing of the sport. The way he just looks easy. Like I said, he makes it look easy. He makes it look enjoyable for even for neutral fans who don't really watch boxing. So yeah, fantastic performance tonight. Let's talk about the main event though. Amazing main event, a cracking main event, and we knew obviously it was going to be worth the wait. But how did you rate the performance of Buatsi tonight, and how did you rate the performance of Azeez tonight? Obviously, Azeez showed a lot of heart tonight.
I think I can't work out if that's what I expected. I expected them to fight like they knew each other, and they definitely did fight like they knew each other. Neither one of them touched the ropes, not once. You could have had a 10-foot ring, that would have been fine tonight. I thought it was fiercely contested. And I actually had Dan beginning to turn the screw just before the 2 knockdowns / slips, etc., etc. I haven't watched a replay from where I was sitting ringside. It looked like the punches landed and the slips happened simultaneously both times. But I rated Josh's performance tonight based on his ability to work with Dan. Dan's not going to let you off the hook for a minute. He worked him all night. Josh had to stay with him, landed some clean shots as well. Looked like he had him worried in the 12th round. Just a proper good fight, man. You know, like, numerous times I looked around, everyone's on their feet. You know, it's just a top fight between two good friends, man. I'm glad that it's over in a way. They can go back to being friends, and then yeah.
Yeah, let's talk a bit about that, because I think it's the 11th round when obviously the 2 knockdowns. I thought that Dan was coming on strong in that round. I thought he was winning that round. And obviously, Joshua just completely just turned the fight on its head by getting the 2 knockdowns there. A lot of people talk about, obviously, the winner going on now to potentially fight for world title, but can the loser come again and win a world title himself as well?
In a way, that kind of fight has no loser. On paper, obviously, Azeez loses the fight, but in reality, his profile will have risen tenfold tonight. The controversy around the knockdowns and how that changed the dynamics of the fight will probably help him and his profile even more. You know, he was coming on strong, and I believe he was winning that round before the 2 knockdowns as well. It would have been interesting to see how he had fought going into the 12th. I'm not sure if that happened in the 10th.
It might have been a 10th.
I would have been interested to see him, you know, down the stretch had that not happened. But Dan can, of course, come again. There's so many fighters in this light heavyweight division. There's so many fights out there, so many opportunities. He's given a great account of himself, and he's just shown that he belongs at the top level.
I know you're probably going to give too much away, but surely we're going to see, you know what I'm going to say, Buatsi versus Yards, hopefully this year.
Maybe. Usually Yards circling. He wasn't here today. I didn't see him. Did you see him? I didn't hear him.
No, I didn't see him today.
I don't think it was...
I didn't see Tunde either.
Yeah. Hopefully we do get a fight like that. It could be Yard. It could be someone else. Who knows? We'll wait and see what Beterbiev and Biv will do. I think that's scheduled for June as well. But yeah, it'll be a great fight. Everyone's talked about Buatsi Yard for years. Hopefully we get that fight next.
And last year, a fight that my colleague spoke about a few years ago with you. And at the time, a lot of people were laughing on Twitter and social media saying that it couldn't happen and stuff like that, including Sam Jones. But it's been made, it's been confirmed now. We're just waiting for the date and the venue. But Marku versus Chris Kongo. How big a fight is that? How excited are you for that fight?
It's a top fight. It was one of those fights I always said the styles on it like worked nicely. At the time, Marku or Marku's team believed that no, it was miles off. Obviously, 18 months down the line, everything makes sense eventually. I can't remember exactly what I said, but I felt like I said that at some point that's gonna make sense. They'll need each other. I think we're here. You know, sometimes fights make sense. There's a bit of animosity. The push and the shove at the Azeez Buatsi first weigh-in, first press conference made it even more interesting. So it's a top fight, man. We want to make sure that we're putting on big cards and big fights this year. I feel like you can do everything you want. But ultimately, the fans just want competitive, good fights and big nights of boxing.
I don't know, I said last year, obviously, the last fight, but I want to talk a bit about a performance of Caroline Dubois tonight. She got a win tonight. Are we going to see her fight in a potential unification fight later this year?
Hopefully. She got the IBO. She wants more world titles. We want her to fight for another world title next. So let's see how that unfolds.
She got an eye on the next fight between Rihanna Dixon.
Who knows? We'll see. I'll let you know. You'll know when you find out. When we announce it, you'll know.
Savage Dan, always a pleasure, bro. Thank you very much.